It was believed that this is the center of the earth. We're climbing all the way to the top. Welcome to Delphi, or like the Greeks would say, Delphi.
Just about 2 hours away from Athens, you can come and explore this beautiful area with so much historical importance.
There's a lot of cool myths and history that took place in this very area. It's actually a little village, and then you have a few ancient sites placed around the area. Now, in ancient times, and to this times, to some people, it was believed that this is the center of the earth. So it's what they call the umbilical cord of the earth, and it had the special powers, and that's why the oracles were here, where many kings and important people would come and have their future read, and a lot of kings would actually come to this place and consult with the oracles, and they would tell them if they should go on war or not. Now, the temple right below us, the myth has it that it was dedicated to the female deity of Gaia, which means earth. And there was actually a scary dragon called Python that would guard this temple and protect it from any intruders. Nowadays, it is known to be dedicated to the god Apollo.
All right, Maria, now let's go see it up close.
But wait, before we can continue the video, I have a big request. Please thumbs up this video, give us a like because it helps us a ton with the algorithm, and it pushes the video to more people like yourself that would be interested in watching this stuff. And if you haven't subscribed already, we would so appreciate it. And now we can go. So right behind us over there, we have the Athenian Temple that was dedicated from the Athenians. So there's a lot of dedications to the oracles and the priests that were here, and the god of Apollo, for things to come to fruition and keep getting good readings.
It's such a beautiful location, how it's kind of like perched on the side of the mountain. And everything kind of is on an incline, and the location itself is really beautiful.
Yeah, this was definitely not what I had in mind with this backdrop. I thought it was gonna be more of like a flat area. I don't know why, but this is truly stunning how it's just set over here, and I can see what people say about the energy.
Okay, so that is it for Delphi. It was a really interesting place to see, but I do recommend, if you struggle with heat, to come either in the spring or in the fall.
Right now it's end of May, and it was a bit tough. Definitely doable, but if you are someone that heat really gets to you, do not do it. Fall, winter, something like that will be great. And next up is Meteora. We'll see you there. Well, we finally made it to Meteora, and The pictures do not do it justice that we've seen. I mean, you have to be here to experience those huge rock formations right above you that are like... Anyway, I'm not gonna go into it. We're actually gonna show you. And it's kind of late right now. We haven't gotten anything to eat because we're just in a hurry to make it here. And so now we're gonna go walk around the city and grab a quick bite to eat. We're not gonna show you yet. We're gonna take you tomorrow when there's light. We're climbing all the way to the top. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
We have just started our hike to one of the monasteries, and it's very beautiful, very green, very lush, but it is very, very balmy and hot and humid, so we are going to power through and make it to the top. Come with us.
A very unique archaeological site for the history of humans actually is about 5 kilometers from where we are right now, and it's the Cave of Theopetra. The Cave of Theopetra which means a god stone, and it has evidence that date back all the way to 50,000 BC. The first important piece of evidence is actually the transition from Neanderthal to humans, and later on the transition from hunter-gatherers to modern humans. Right now we're going to continue our ascent to the top so we can enjoy some very spectacular views.
So when we were arriving in the town, one of the first things we were thinking of when we looked up at the rocks was how amazing it is that they're still standing. And I was doing more research earlier on the place, and actually in 1954 there was a 7.0 earthquake, and somehow, don't know how, the rocks stood completely still. Nothing toppled over, and that almost seems close to what some people call a miracle. They do say though that not the big ones, but more like independent rocks from the formations do fall down onto the path, so when you're here you need to be really careful, make sure where you're looking so that you don't fall over a rock or get hit.
It is also important to note that these rocks are a bit unique geologically due to the rocks are composed of a mixture of sandstone and conglomerate. The conglomerate was formed of deposits of stone, sand, and mud from streams flowing into the delta at the edge of a lake over millions of years ago. And about 60 million years ago, during the Paleogene period, a series of earth movements pushed the seabed upward, causing many vertical lines in a thick layer of sandstone. And then later on, with the weathering by the water, the wind, and the extreme temperatures on the vertical faults, it created what we see today.
When visiting a monastery in Greece, there's a dress code. For women, their shoulders and knees must be covered, and for men, just the shoulders. And most monasteries will lend you a garment for your visit, so you don't need to worry.
So we have made it to the top of the Holy Trinity Monastery. Which one fun fact about it, for those of you that are James Bond movie lovers, the 1981 For Your Eyes Only James Bond was filmed in this very top area. Now let's go a little further back in time. This monastery is believed to have been built around the 14th to 15th century, but it is also believed that in the ancient times it was inhabited, and of course it was nothing to the way it is today. Even the way it is today has been a bit renovated. It didn't look like this in the 14th or 15th century. But in the ancient times, there were like little shacks that religious, spiritual people built and were here. Now we're going to go grab a lunch down in the town of Kalabaca, and then we're gonna go to the bigger monastery. All right, Olivia, are you hot? Yeah. Show us how hot you are. Found ourselves in this in the Battagliani Zoe restaurant with this amazing backdrop. We had to drive to the little village next to Kalabaca, which was only like 2-minute drive away from Kalabaca, and it's called Castrati. And the first course has come, which is considered a salad, and it's called horta, which is basically boiled greens. And it's a dish that you will find throughout Greece. These are probably picked from around the area, and they tend to be super fresh. Wow, very nice taste. So I got the moussaka, which is a very classic Greek dish, some bechamel sauce. Next layer is grilled eggplants. And then we have some potatoes, and there's a layer of ground meat. Oh yeah. It's really nice. The flavors are really, really nice. And I mean, I've had this dish many, many times. It's definitely up to par with like the other really good ones I've had. Personal preference, a little too much bechamel sauce, but other than that, very good. I have a feeling we're really gonna enjoy this food. Olivia, what'd you get?
I ordered another traditional dish, which I haven't really had much here, but I really like it, which is the pastizio. So it's kind of similar to the moussaka, 2 pasta with a meat sauce, and then there's a really fine layer of bechamel sauce on top of that as well, cheese on top, and then baked in the oven. Yeah, it's really good. It's exactly what I was in the mood for too.
So I got a crap ton of lamb chops. I'm very excited. They're very good, just a little jiggly, like a lot of this happening, and I'm not the biggest fan, but
Alright, so we are currently chasing the sunset, literally. This is not going to be our final spot, but we thought we'd take the moment and give you another couple cool facts. During the Turkish occupation here in Greece, this spot was one of the safest spots to be, these monasteries. And the reason was, it wasn't as easily accessible as it is now, where you can literally drive up with a car or go on a hike where there's paths. You could only go up with like big baskets that they had and the systems they had constructed, so the Turkish people couldn't go and attack the monks that were up there because they didn't know how to climb. It used to be 26 monasteries. Now it's a few less after they have been renovated. It only used to be monks. Now there are 2 monasteries that are inhabited by nuns. Unfortunately, the reason why that happened, we were told that it's because there were not enough monks to occupy all the monasteries. So they gave it to the women as a second choice. Anyway, a lot of sexism in religion, but we'll get over that. Which brings us to the next thing. At least in the Greek Orthodox religion, a lot of the monasteries were not allowed to be visited by women. To this date, there is a specific section of Greece that is taken over by monasteries and no woman is allowed on land. However, Meteora were not visited by women for a very, very long time, for hundreds of years. And it wasn't until the Queen of Romania in the 1950s came and visited the monastery that became the first woman to be here. Interesting. Took a long time. All right, let's go see the amazing sunset.